Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Wick, and I
Hi,
am joined here by.
I'm Avi.
Yay!
An unusual visitor known as Avi. There's multiple people with similar names around here, but anyway. All, all right. Um, so we got. I'm gonna say that it's a fairly nice evening. It's not too late, not very early either, and um, Wick, you are playing the lovely Kouga Dayu, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, I guess Koga is out to kind of just get some new sounds, or just hear music, or yeah.
Just vibe, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Let me know if I say anything that's off the mark. So I guess
No, you're good.
Koga passes by this location in Toontown, or you pass by this location in Toontown, and it's like, oh, this looks like an interesting place. You hear faint music coming from inside, and you look up at the sign and it says the Lonely Cricket, and it's currently blue, the like blue neon. And then you look again and you're like, oh wait, Lonely is actually misspelled on the sign, but it's hard to notice because it's all in cursive. When letters are in cursive and it's hard to notice when an extra letter is there. Anyway, um, so I guess do you head on inside?
Koga takes a look at the sign, the misspelled one, and they they just think it makes it even better. Quite interesting.
Great.
They just decide to kind of peek their head in first and then just kind of slowly make their way in.
Yeah. You notice that I don't think there's a bouncer or anything. I don't think lounges have bouncers. I don't
I
know
mean,
why
that's
that
up
popped
to
into my
you.
head.
This is your lounge.
You know what? You do see what appears to be a bouncy ball that someone left off to the side of the hall. So, so, but you enter into the space. Oh, tell you what, I'll just share the Lonely Cricket thingy majigger mabob. I will just share it with you.
Ooh.
It will be shared if I can just diddly doop a doop boop. And
A bouncy ball.
I just okay.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah,
looks like. Oh, that's neat.
yeah, Ike drew it.
I didn't know what the sign. That's really
It's
cool.
very, very cute
Very
and
cute.
nice.
Yes.
So you enter, and there's this hallway bit, and then maybe some kind of greeter. I don't know. I don't know enough about lounges, but it's fine.
I just wanted a
And
lounge, and here we have it.
yeah, and you enter into this larger space. You see a bar. You see a list of like pictures of drinks behind the bar, which is a little unusual from what you're used to. But one of the drinks listed is just like a fish in a bucket for some reason, and it's a little quiet in there. It's not like super crowded, so it's got a little bit of a nice atmosphere going, and the curtains are closed. Um, and well, actually, they're not. Uh, it's fine. I thought this through. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Dude, I'm no thoughts head empty right now.
So you see a couple of people setting up equipment. I mean, not doing a lot of work. Most of it's just the guitarist's microphone and guitar. Uh, some guy with a big old hat and a little moon-shaped instrument, I think. And basically, he seems pretty busy, though. He seems preoccupied. I'm totally spitballing here. If I say anything wrong, please let me know. I know you're in the audience. Okay. But to your surprise, the walls are kind of. Hey, do you want to roll me like a perception or arcana check?
Yeah. Wait, which one am I better at? Let's find out. Not by much. Okay. I'll just roll perception.
Okay.
How the hell do I roll? 9.
Okay. Well,
Well.
you sure do notice that the walls look pretty. They're very pretty. And that is just
very pretty.
Yeah, it's gosh darn nice. Would you look at that?
That's some nice wallpaper.
Some nice wallpaper. Very pretty. Anyway, but you look at the stage, your eyes have been kind of skimming over things, and then at the front of the stage, you're surprised because you see Amphina, that one lady you met that other night at the concert that went terribly wrong. And she's just kind of talking with the other bandmates. She seems a little focused on the show, but yeah, she's up there.
I don't know if this is an issue, but Kouga has been holding onto their shamisen like the whole time.
Oh.
And like,
oh yeah,
their grip just instinctively tightens on the neck of it. They're just kind of like, oh, person, I know.
Valid.
They take 1 or 2 steps forward, but then they realize how busy they look, and maybe it's better if they just take a seat. Are they the ones performing? That's news to them.
All right, I'm gonna roll perception and see if Amphina notices you.
Maybe.
Do
you want to roll with advantage?
I mean,
sometimes I forget how tall Kouga is.
Maybe. Let's see what happens. So it might be that I won't need it. We'll see.
Well, it depends.
It depends. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, no. I am gonna roll with advantage.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Oh
shit!
Dirty 20 dice.
Okay, so I'm gonna say for a sec.
A double take.
Yeah, no, I imagine she kind of looks across the crowd, she's like, yes, okay, I'm preparing. And then she does a double take and her eyebrows shoot straight up and she's a little wide-eyed and she blinks a few times and then she kind of just cautiously raises a hand and waves.
Kouga just slowly raises one of their hands and just does a little wave. It's like one of those stiff, awkward ones where they're just like, I didn't think they would see me. But hello.
That is a mood. That is very much a mood. Okay. And how close is Kouga sitting?
I'd have to say, I mean, like, because they're not sitting in the back. Like, I'd have to say that they're sitting in the middle, but like just a little bit farther back. Like, they don't want to be all the way in the back, or else they might not get good sound. But they don't want to be all the way in the front and like block somebody's view or just anything like that. So they're just kind of chilling in the middle.
Right. The nice thing about the lounge is that, you've got these tables that are spaced a certain distance apart. And that doesn't mean that nobody's view of the stage can be blocked ever, but it does mean that it's less like a seat where everyone, I don't know, the stadium where everyone was crowded together and like our party's view of the stage was like blocked for most of the time. And it's more, it's more spaced out and alternating so that, there's room to see the stage.
Yeah.
And because you're a certain distance away, Evita does it, she's not in a great place to sorry, she's not in. She doesn't feel like super like she can just walk over when the set's about to start and um and just start talking. But you know, she's like, oh, okay.
Well, okay.
You know, there's words in there somewhere.
Oh no, I get what you mean.
And I'm guessing that at this point, she's probably going to yeah, I think that the performance starts at this point, and I am going to roll for that. And if that is a-okay with you.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh, oh no.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So she's a little bit off her game today. Can I roll with advantage? Because I feel like she's kind of got this area scoped out. She's used to performing here, but maybe there's some technical issues to start off. Oh, you know what? There are some technical issues to start off. She tries to sing, and then the mic does that thing where it like goes
Oh,
like,
that feedback. Oh, God, I hate
yeah,
that.
it's just like, and then some other equipment looks like it's kind of off, and they have to spend some time fixing it. So the performance is delayed. And then Fiona's like, ugh. And then,
again.
Suddenly she doesn't really have anything else to do. So she, I don't know, she casually wanders over to the bar and then tries to make it look like she isn't like directly walking towards Kouga, because it's like that awkward thing when you know someone and it's like, but if I approach them directly, it's just gonna be weird, right? Like it's gonna be weird, I think. So she kind of meanders and then she brushes past and then she's like, Kouga, hello. I see hi.
Koga is still sitting at the table that they chose, but they look over at Amphina and they give a little small smile and another one of those little waves. I they're still um actually, do you mind rolling an insight check?
Oh ho ho! I will do my best. Okay, that would be all right. Oh shit!
Okay.
Well.
Uh, so, now, how's the lighting in here, by the way?
It's kind of this smooth, subtle, sort of dim lighting. It's not so dim that you would like trip over everything forever and spill all your drinks on yourself and then your pants fall down. But it is, it's atmospheric. There's all these kind of little atmospheric lighting that's kind of subtle, and in the background it's not like these huge lamps going dun, lighting it up, down, and stuff. Lighting it up, down. Great, good job. Okay, so yeah, lighting.
So the lights may be a little dim, but you're used to them, so your vision isn't really bothered. You can tell immediately that Kouga is very stiff. They actually seem rather uncomfortable, but not with you. You noticed actually when they had come down and taken a seat that they're just not used to this location. The dim lighting, the bar, everything feels a little foreign to them. So right now they are just trying to relax, but it seems they're having a hard time doing that.
Aw, Kouga. So Amphina somehow noticed this through the fog of her own brain or whatever's going on with her. And she's gonna try and give a small, comforting smile and saying, "It's been a while. Is this your first time at the Lonely Cricket?"
Um, so at this, Koga seems to like just relax, just a little bit, and they just give a little nod, like, yep, that's it. The I'm new here.
And she said, yes, it's a little, most people swear, they'll keep to themselves here, but they don't usually, not in the unfriendly sense, you understand. This is, just meant to be a place for people to, drink, enjoy each other's company, enjoy the music. So, I don't have a lot of time to talk right now, but I hope you enjoy the atmosphere here, and I hope you enjoy the show. Um, you might consider they don't just have drinks at the bar; they also have sliders if you want to check any of those out. Um, and then she just kind of trails off, but
So let me see. I'm gonna roll something. Ah, okay. Um, you want to roll another insight? You might as well.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that beats it out. But so, um, what Koga does as you're speaking is, like how they already have like a water glass typically set on these tables, right, or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking of a restaurant, but whatever. Uh, they pick up the
Right.
water glass and kind of offer it to Amphina, like, oh, maybe you should take a drink you know, before performing. But when you mention, the food options, you hear just a very soft gurgling, and you can
Oh.
only assume that it's their stomach, and they get this
Oh.
the faintest bit of blush on their face. And they just quickly set down the water glass and just kind of look down like, I can't believe that just happened.
And Avina kind of gives like a little amused grin, and she's like, "So yes, those sliders. I can get you. I think there's some servers over there. They could probably get you a menu. I could also just grab one for you. I'd offer to pay it on the house, but frankly, I don't have anything on me currently. Which isn't to say that I don't have any money. It's just sorry. Anyway, those menus. And she's gonna like offer a quick menu to Amphina. I mean, fucking wink. I mean, freaking Kouga. Look, she has a what in persuade? She has a +4 in persuasion. It's fine. She's not awkward at all. It's fine. It's been a time. It's fine. She's not used to encountering people out from outside of work in her work. So I tried anyway. Okay.
So Koga just very gingerly takes the menu from Anfina and puts it on the table. They'll take a look at it in a moment. They turn back to you, Amphina, and they just give like a little thumbs up, like, yeah, this is good, and you're gonna do good.
And Amphina kind of gives a thumbs up back with just like, yeah. and then she hears like someone tapping on the microphone from the stage, I think, and she turns back and looks at it, and she says, well, I've got to go. I've got a performance to do. I hope the experience isn't too terribly traumatizing for you. I do try my best in these circumstances. And then after a sec, she kind of just looks down at the water glass at the table, quickly picks it up and takes a sip, and then puts it down and leaves. She's normal. This is fine.
Koga's had been nodding along, and then as they leave, As Athena leaves for the stage, Kouga just kind of stares at the water for a second and then smiles a little, like, I did it good.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
it's funny.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll performance again and see if I do any better.
Okay.
With my +6. With my freaking +6. Okay, let's see if I can get something higher than 8.
Please.
Please. Okay. I feel like. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to jinx it. All right.
Oh,
okay.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. So, she it's not like the most mind-blowing performance ever. It's not like the Oscar halftime show or it's not a fucking 8, So it's fine. Everything's fine. It's a pretty good performance, you could tell that she has the hashtag experience, that she's been doing this a while. It's fairly relaxed and oh, you know what? Could you roll like a I'm gonna say perception.
Okay. That's good, because my perception's okay. Well, that's slightly better than the the wallpaper bit. But not by much.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna give you advantage because you like listening to music and you have pretty good performance in terms of music, right?
Watch me roll lower. Oh
shit!
Okay.
No, look at that!
Oh.
Look at you go! You and your magic musician brain. Okay, so basically, you notice something. You've been listening to some of the sounds of the you've been listening to the music of the area. You hear from the radios, you've seen some performances, and you notice that you're listening to these songs, and you're pretty sure that some of them are just like jazz songs, but you also notice that there's some covers of music from other genre. You even think you hear a song that was from the Warriors of Arbor concert, which surprises you.
Ooh.
But it's hard to tell because it's adapted. And then you hear some songs that kind of sound distinct. Like they don't match up with the others somehow. Just the way that the tune sounds. But not like in the sense of Warriors of Arbor, where, spoiler alert, there was hypnotism and magic and evil, but rather, it's just that there's something about the way that they're composed that's different. Like something distinct about them that you can't quite put your finger on. Haha, the way that the tune sounds. Very funny, Tretnon. Anyway, and yeah. Actually, with that high roll, I'm gonna say something else.
Oh.
And Fina's a pretty decent singer throughout. She's for a 15, she sings pretty well. She seems fairly at ease with many of the songs, but you do notice, ever so slightly, that when she's singing these distinct songs, she seems a little bit more stiff. And you're not quite sure why. Perhaps. Unless you are sure why, or you have an idea. But it's not immediately clear. Because this is a perception check, not an insight check. Is my excuse. I know how to D&D. What are you talking about? Ha ha. So, yeah, there's I think I'm trying to think. Would there be an intermission? Would there? I mean, it's not really. So they do like a set or a few songs or so. You know, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. Sometimes she even like she doesn't do it that much. I'm not sure if you've seen if Koga's seen other lounge singers. Sometimes they have a little bit more of a communication with the audience, and she doesn't do it that much compared to them.
Mm.
But you know, there's a little bit of a back and forth, and
during this time,
yeah.
can I make an intelligence check?
Okay, all right.
Oh, perfect.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
What happened?
So during the performance, they're just kind of listening for a bit, and they kind of zone for a moment, and when they do so, they they absentmindedly pick up the water glass from earlier
Oh
and
no!
take a sip, and then they're like, "Oh wait, oh
Oh
they just put
no!
it back down, and they're like,
Oh god! Oh
they they
no! I'm pretty sure that the Fita was too busy to notice. It's fine. It's fine.
they they're rather you might not see this, but they are rather flustered for a moment. They put it back down and they just scooch it away as far as possible from their reach.
Maybe a server thinks like, oh, I see the decorative water glass is getting in the way of your menu. I'll just pick it up for you.
Like, they just give a quick sigh of relief, like, oh god. And to cover up, they take the menu and they just kind of like awkwardly hide their face with it, even though you can't really see much of their face to begin with.
Does Kouga get any food? Or
Now it's perhaps the at first they were using it as a distraction, but now they're looking at the menu like, maybe I should actually eat something. I am hungry.
Yeah.
What's exactly on the menu?
Let's see.
Ooh, should I roll investigation?
Well,
I mean,
you know what? I'm just thinking up the menu items. I think there's like these tiny little burgers called John Boyegers, and sorry.
Oh, that's great.
I think there's
that.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna try to come up with more like lies, ketchup on fries, but that's like not as good.
That sounds nice too.
Yeah, you know, just stuff like that.
They decide to order a what was it called? A Boyega?
Yeah, a Boyega, a Johnny's Boyega.
With some fries with the ketchup and lies.
Yay! And it's a pretty tiny portion because that's how sliders be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get this burger, and yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. And
they take a couple of bites and they're like, "Yeah, this is good."
Yeah, because this is a fine establishment. And the feedback thing only happened once. It's fine.
They're used to feedback noise. They're just chomping on fries and just like, man, I was hungrier than I thought.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that first bad roll because that kind of allowed that earlier interaction to happen. That was pretty good.
Good.
Anyway, okay, so you know, after a while, I think maybe the burger, the boyega, is finished, and the fries, and okay, and yeah, no, things wind down, and and the performance ends, and there's polite clapping and stuff, and and you see them pack up their instruments and or and stuff. I mean, Jephiah, the pianist, who's like he's a jackal. He can't pack up the piano, I don't think, because it's a little too big. But
just a wee bit.
or you know what? He does. He packs up the piano, and nobody knows how, but he does. It just folds up all nice, and it makes a squeaky noise when put into like this little case thing. And it's not like a keyboard that folds up. This is a grand piano that we're talking about. It's just like somehow it folds up like origami and just and he just takes it off stage, and it's great. And and you see Amphina, maybe you see Amphina kind of shoot a glance at you, Kouga, and then she kind of makes her way off stage and off to the dressing room in the back. And yeah, what does Kouga do at this point? Do they kind of hang around? Do they
The first thing that they do, could I roll Hammer's face?
Please do.
Okay, good. All right, so they with the quick glance between them, Kouga's like, "Oh, I wonder where they're going," as they go off stage, and then they're thinking, "Ah, wait, do I have something on my face? Did I eat too messily? Hold on." So they reach into their sleeve and they take out like a handheld mirror to take a look, and sure enough, there's one or two blotches of ketchup on their face.
Oh
no! So they're gonna try to wipe it off really quick. I'm assuming we got a napkin, so they just gotta start wiping their face really quick.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Would they need to go to the washroom per se?
Wait for it.
Okay.
They finish wiping their face, only to remove the napkin and realize with abject horror they've also wiped off their mouth.
Oh no! Sorry.
Oh no. They throw their mirror back into their sleeve and they get up real quick, like, I gotta go draw my face back on. My mouth. So they quickly took a look around, like, okay, where's the restroom? Where is it? I don't know. I haven't been here before.
Well, I mean, thankfully, I think, there's drinks involved. There's going to be people and food involved. There's going to be people who need to go to the bathroom. So there is actually a pretty well-marked bathroom. But, yeah. So it's kind of near the...
Go ahead, sorry.
It's kind of near the backstage, actually. Well, not in it, obviously, but, like, kind of near that end of the room.
Yeah, it's close by. So
yeah.
they very carefully try to navigate through the different tables as they are making a beeline for the washroom.
Yeah.
They're also rummaging through their hammer space once more. Ah, good. And they take out they're just gonna hold it in their hand for a moment. They take out a black marker because they gotta be prepared. They're ready to fix it real quick.
Great. Okay. So I'm gonna say I guess you go inside there and you and you start fixing up your face, and then you hear the door open, and And whether or not you choose to turn around, or maybe you just see her reflection, it's Amphina, and she kind of stops and she's kind of surprised to see you, and she's like, "Oh, hi."
Hold on. Can I make a dex check?
Yeah, make a dex check. I don't know why, but do it.
Yes, okay. Kouga, you're rolling low tonight, and it works. So they weren't expecting Amphina to come in there, even though a washroom's a pretty common place to meet people. That
Yeah.
and just it happens.
Yeah.
But 1 minute they're attempting to fix the outline and shape of of their of their lips, essentially. But then they take another glance and they see Amphina in the reflection, and their hand slips, and they just draw a whole line across their face, the bottom part,
like,
so it's completely smudged.
Oh no! Ampina's kind of is like, oh god, what did I? And she's like, do you need any help with that? I could. Are you all right?
they they immediately they cover that part of their face, and they wave their free hand like, no, it's fine, I could get it. And you can tell now that they have again a little bit of a faint flush on their face, like, oh geez, I'm all embarrassed now.
And Ampina's like, I can't tell you how many times I've smudged my own lipstick. And then she kind of just politely kind of turns to the side, a little politely but awkwardly, and kind of looks away and starts fixing her own lipstick and stuff. And
yeah.
And tries not to glance over.
Meanwhile, Kouga cannot help but take one or two little side glances as they quickly wipe off the huge line that they made. They have to scrub one or two times because this is supposed to be a permanent black marker, but they must not have grabbed the right one. So,
oh no.
It turns part of their face a little bit gray before they're able to wash it a bit more. Then it goes back to its particular, regular tint.
Oh.
And
you want to roll?
Oh, yes.
You want to roll a quick perception, or tell you what?
Perception's my favorite. Yes.
No, I think that's good. Yeah.
Perception.
I was gonna do something else, but
perception. Oh,
okay.
20.
Okay. So Amphina was like trying not to do the whole glancy, minding your privacy thing, but after a time, she's done kind of fixing her makeup, and she's just doing stuff now where she's kind of like, it's funny. She washes her hands even though she's still wearing gloves.
Oh my god.
And it's fine because when you actually look at them, they're kind of like, they're not silk or anything that you'd expect a lounge singer's gloves to be. They kind of look like weird and rubbery almost. So like they're fine with the water, but it's still really weird. But you could tell she is not able to disguise a certain amount of fascination that she's like, oh, that's it. But she's trying not to be rude, but she's trying to make it sneaky. But it's not enough. And then she lets the sink run a little too long, and some of it gets on the floor. And then she quickly turns it off, and she clears her throat. And she's like, so, did you enjoy the show?
Kouga, who had been noticing this out of the corner of their eye whatever, you can't see their eyes anyway. But they very quickly finish touching up on their face. They're pretty much done by now. They've done this plenty of times before. It's just they didn't expect it suddenly slip up earlier. But they recap the marker and throw it back in their sleeve. they turn to Ampina and they kind of to make up for the faux pas, they just kind of nod, but like a little too enthusiastically.
And Amphina is not gonna is actually too pleased by the fact that she, but by the enthusiasm of that nod, to the point where she's like, "Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know it's not quite. It doesn't have any of the." And she raises her fingers and pyrotechnics of,
The pirate.
of that lovely, and she, you could hear the sarcasm in her voice. That just lovely concert we attended, but I do try my best when it comes to performing, and I try to do right by my fellow musicians. And then she kind of stops and she's like, "Oh, but you're probably busy. I'm sorry."
Kouga had been like nodding along a bit and stifles a little chuckle at the pyrotechnics and lovely concert. I mean, except for the whole bit. I mean, it was nice. It was nice till it wasn't.
Yeah.
But but then they stop when it's like, oh, you're probably busy. And Kouga just they slowly shake their head like, no, I'm not busy. Like,
And Avina kind of stops and looks as if she's pondering something, but she like it's weird. This lady is, she's got the high, persuasion skills or whatever the heck, but she's like, oh, you're not busy. Well, I'm and she kind of stops for a second, then she says, "I'm just going to head over to the park. I tend to do that." And then she kind of lets it hang in the air.
And I mean, you can't quite tell much of Koga's face, but they seem to brighten up a little, like, a park, and but they hold up a finger as if to say, like, just a moment, and they go back into their hammer space. Oh, good. All right, we're still fine. And I mean, they don't quite realize that maybe this wasn't the place for it, but they decide to do it anyway. They take out a single flower blossom, and they hold it out to you, like, this is what I have. Take it,
And Fina is kind of like her eyes widened, and she's kind of like, and she's gonna make an insight check. And that's gonna be oh, it's 16.
Okay.
And I guess she's wondering, is like there's a part of her is like, this isn't a romantic thing, is it? Oh God, I'm not prepared. or is it just like a performer thing?
Yeah. Well, luckily with that kind of role, you can tell that just the way that they don't look bashful, they look rather like excited, and they're holding it out to you, like not in like a stiff awkward manner, but they kind of show it like, here, this is for you, you did a good job, kind of thing.
Oh, and if you're just like, oh, oh, thank you. And she kind of like, and she's the one who's bashful, doing a little bit of the hand wavy thing, and she takes the blossom, and after a second she kind of tucks it behind her ear and kind of jostles one of her ear thingies in the process,
And Koga sees this, and without quite meaning to, they actually get a bit closer and reach up and like adjust it for you.
Oh,
maybe it's some
shit.
force of habit, but they make sure that they aren't caught on either object. Like whether your hair's caught on the flower or the earrings, ear decoration. I don't
Yeah.
know how words work, but
The ear doohickey.
yes. So
Um,
they quickly adjust it for you.
uh, okay. I feel like we've been doing this a lot, but roll insight.
For roll insight. Okay. What the hell did I roll for insight before? God, my insight. Oh, okay. Wait, I don't think I rolled insight. Let's go. Or maybe I did. I forget. Oh, a 20. A modified 20.
Oh, shit! All right! Let's see what you get with this. Okay, so
Okay.
you very politely do that, Kouga, and Amphina's eyes widen, and you manage to fix it before she takes a step back, and she just kind of stares at you, and you realize that you see a flash of something unexpectedly like fear when you adjusted that, and then it's kind of replaced by almost like some weird mix of like something in her settles down, and it's kind of mixed with some sense of relief or embarrassment, and she sheepishly smiles and says, well, thank you. Um, and let's see. And she doesn't know how to do the rest of the conversation, so she's going to kind of look around this restroom, and then someone comes in, and
Oh,
some
no.
lady, and she's like, yeah, hey, are you two, you, and you know, she's clearly, well, lady, yeah, this time it's a lady. It's, you know, like a group bathroom. It's like, who gives a heck? And she's like, oh, you guys, you are so good on stage. And I love you, and I love your outfit. Oh my god, where'd you get it? And she kind of drunkenly leans on Amphina, and Amphina looks very disturbed and kind of is like, excuse me, the customers are allowed to, and it's just like, and she kind of sends a pleading glance towards Kouga, like, could you help me out of this situation? And
So, should I roll for this or?
I mean, shit, I guess so. Like a performance, or I mean, performance if you like, but like, or
I was gonna
you
try
know,
to roll
just
persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion.
Oh, okay, pretty good. It's a 21.
Oh yeah, no, that's fucking good. What kind of thing do you say?
Well, first they very carefully kind of step nearly between, but not quite between you two, to just and they very gently kind of like push you aside for a moment, like to get some distance between the two of you.
Right.
And they say to the women that have come in, good evening. We were just leaving, if you don't mind. And they give this soft smile, like, oh, you know, you totally weren't bothering us at all.
And they're like, and she's like, oh, okay, I love you. I go, what? And she goes to one of the stalls. It's a very loud and disturbing noises.
Oh, no.
And if you know, it's you this glance and says, let's get out of here. And then I imagine you scurry out of the bathroom and then make your way out of the lounge.
Yeah.
And
they're both just hightail it out of there, like, oh, let's get out. This is not the place to have conversation.
Yeah. I did not expect this game to have so many shenanigans. So, I guess it's like a 15-minute walk to the park, and so, or so, and like the two of you are just the two, Amphina and I almost said Amphina and Ligeia. They're one person. Amphina and Kouga are walking, and I'm guessing they're quiet. And Amphina's initially quiet because she's kind of just like dealing with what just happened a little bit. Like, it wasn't the worst she's ever been through, but you know, it was a little much, and she was kind of, it activated her flight reflexes, which is why I think they chose flight. So, Sorry. So that's yeah. She so, but then she realizes, oh hey, I'm walking with this friendly acquaintance who I don't know very much of, but they're really nice and they lent me headphones once. And then she remembers that and she's like, I believe I thanked you before the other night for lending me those headphones. And I'm not sure whether she returned them to them or not, or
I
I
don't
feel like it would have
actually know
happened.
either.
I think maybe she forgot in the chaos. In which case she's
go ahead.
in which case she's gonna be like, and I never returned them to you. I'm so sorry. And she's gonna roll. I guess that would be hammer space.
Ooh.
Let's see what happens.
See what happens.
Okay. It's a 4, but it's a win. So she pulls out the headphones and she kind of hands them to you, Kouga. And yeah.
And while they had been walking, Kouga had just kind of been plucking a little at their shamisen to try to, keep a nice laid back kind of attitude. But Amphina goes and offers the headphones back. Kouga looks at them for a moment, and she decides to they just gently take them back and gives a polite nod, like, thank you, I hope they were useful.
They were. I think that the night would have been at least a little bit more difficult than it already was if I hadn't had them. So thank you so much for lending them to me. And then, what were you going to say, Kouga?
No, go ahead.
Well, Amphina was going to change the subject, but she was going to look at the shamisen and she said, that's right, you play. I remember you were playing a song during the fight. I don't remember much of it, but bardic magic, it sounded really good, just from a musical point alone.
And they give a little smile, but they wave their hand a little bit as if to say, oh, you don't have to say something like that. Like they look down fondly at the instrument in their hands. And they give another little strum, like, yeah, this is nice.
Amphina perks up at the little sound of music. And sorry, anyway.
Yes.
And I'm guessing that it's like after some of that happens, so I'm guessing they're almost at the park, and yeah, and I don't know where this is. The downtown. I mean, Toontown has got to have a park in there somewhere, right?
There are probably like 5 different parks. We don't know.
We don't know. And so we don't know the name of this park yet. I'm sure it definitely has one, but we don't know the name. But it's a little nice park. It's very green. There's a pond or two. The sun isn't out, but turtles do this thing. You see some turtles on the rocks, and you see them, like the moon is in the sky, and turtles will do this thing where they'll stick their heads up and like follow the movement of the sun during the day over time. It's the craziest thing. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I've seen something like that, and it's very strange and lovely. And very cute. Yeah, I know. And so you see some sorry. But yeah, you see some turtles just randomly following with their heads or gazes or whatever, just chilling in the middle of the ponds, where there are, on the rocks. And there are some benches. And unfortunately, there is like a little bit of littering. Like you see a discarded cream pie. You see
wait, a discarded cream pie?
A discarded uh, custard pie.
Ah,
Did I? Oh shit! Sorry. Never
what?
mind.
What is it? You
No, I
okay?
just it was the wording. I realized the wording wasn't the most eloquent, but
What? Oh,
yes,
no, it's fine. No, I was actually asking because um,
yeah.
I,
It,
you mind making an insight check?
all right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Jesus, what did you want? What,
okay. No, it's all right.
oh Jesus. But there's a discarded custard pie, and
You
um,
you don't notice anything really with Koga except that they're just kind of looking at it. Um,
and and you do see some silly string, um, on one of the trees, and and Fina looks kind of annoyed by all this, like somewhat like you could tell that someone had maybe like yeah, it's common for barks to have at least a little bit of litter, but you could tell that maybe someone had a birthday party here, or a happy rivalversary.
happy rivalversary.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, there's like some like you see some like you think you see a saber embedded in one of the trees,
Oh jeez.
like and that's gonna be a pain in the ass to get out, but but it's there, and there are people who take care of the park, but like there's a saber stuck in the tree, and Amphina just takes it all in, and she sighs, and she looks around, and she sees a bench, and she's that's kind of near one of the ponds, and she says, this is where I usually sit. I'm not sure if you want to join me.
They Koga turns to Amphina and looks at the bench and back to her. They nod, but then they hold up their finger again, like, wait a moment. They they walk over to like the discarded custard pie tin, and they pick it up and they go to throw it in. There's a trash can here somewhere.
Ah, that's good.
They go and throw that out, but they look kind of um a little a little confused at the silly string, like how am I gonna clean that?
And Fina kind of looks around, and she's like, "Oh, are you the park? Uh, wait, do you want to roll to like actually throw it in the trash can, or do you just want to like drop it in?"
You know what? You know what? It's already been shenanigan filled. Okay, I'll roll it.
Okay.
Why not? Wait, what the heck do I roll? I just rolled a hit or something?
uh,
Uh,
yeah, I guess it's
I guess whenever I
Dex.
roll to a dex roll. Okay, that should be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Um, let's see. Oh, oh no.
It hits the side of the trash can and slowly, you know, what's the
No.
word?
Yeah.
It
It
slowly,
just
the pan slowly slithers down like
oh,
a
it just slides down a bit.
yeah, slides down like a
Oh god.
disappointed. Uh,
And it's even
you,
more disappointing when you notice that Koga, in this strange chaotic streak, had wound up a bit, like almost like a baseball player, to just
oh
chuck it at the trash can, and it hits the rim, and it pitifully slides down. And they're just like,
yeah, and Fiona jumps back a little when she sees the wind up, and then she notices the effect, and she's like, "Oh, oh," and then she thinks for a moment, and then she looks at one of the ponds, and then she's like, "Huh, we could clean this place up, couldn't we?"
uh, they, 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 they look from the trash can back to Amphina, and um, e- even though obviously they don't really have any eyes, you kind of have a feeling like their eyes have widened, like, oh, yeah, we could.
And with that, Amphina's gonna think for a moment, and she's gonna look at one of the pawns, and she's gonna go, and then she's gonna nod to herself, and then she's gonna use one of her freaking cantrips, and she is going to cast Shape Water.
Ooh.
And it's a cantrip, so basically all I gotta do is there's like an area of water that you can see within range, and that fits within a 5-foot cube. And she is going to kind of almost like a waterbender, but not exactly, not the exact martial arts movements. But she's gonna glorp some water out of the pond, and she's careful to take it to avoid any turtles or other forms of life in it. It's fine. And she's gonna kind of swoosh it around, and then she's gonna kind of like try to splash the custard or pick up the custard off the side of the trash can with the Shape Water. And I'm not sure if I'd roll anything for that or if it would just happen.
You know, I think, well, with Shape Water, I think that would just happen, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're already in control of it, as long as you... And Amphina seems relatively careful, so I think it would work like that. And as this happens, Kouga is just kind of staring like, whoa.
And then Amphina's gonna, like, kind of, like, she's gonna try to do this thing where she, like, she's in control of the water, and she can apparently, like, change the consistency, well, not the consistency of it, but, like, how murky it is or whatever. I'm gonna say, for the sake of this goofy little FPS, that you know, it picks up the custard, but then she's almost, like, does this weird motion with the water, and it's like the custard part of the stuff that's in it is kind of just flung out into the trash can.
Oh.
And then she kind of... And then she does, like, a little whippy motion, and the pie tin is scooped off the ground and into the trash, and then she turns her attention to, like, the tree with the silly string on it, and then she kind of gives that a rinse, and she attempts something similar there, and then she kind of, because I get to show off in this FPS, it's fine.
Yeah.
And,
do it.
And, you know, there's little bits of other stuff. She doesn't pick up trash with the water because it's going back in the pond. That seems a little bit much, but a little bit of custard and silly string will probably be okay in this instance. And
perhaps.
and then she kind of just makes sure that there are no other weird bits in the water. And then she returns it to the pond, to the relief of many confused turtles.
Oh.
And she kind of, like, dusts her hands off and then sheepishly looks back at Kouga.
And meanwhile, while Amphina was doing the cool water bit, Kouga had stared for a little bit and then was like, oh, yes, I should help too. So they started picking up the trash that they could, that you can't pick up with the water. And started throwing it away.
Yeah, yay! Teamwork.
So then when they're done, they both look at each other like, well, that was something.
And you know, like there's a zoom out on the park and it's doing the little sparkle thing, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's cute.
And then Amphina takes a look at the rapier or the saber stuck in a tree, and she kind of tugs on it, and she's like, that's staying there. I don't know what to do with that. Like, she doesn't say that out loud, but she clearly thinks it, like, that shit's lost cause, but not really. And so,
but
just kind of leaves.
Kouga goes up to it. Can I make a strength check?
Do it! Pull the sword at the tree.
Perfect.
Do you like, with that, you got a nat 1. Please tell me that you kind of you try to pull it, and instead you just kind of, like, it does this thing where you, like, it goes doyoing and you get flung off it into the not the distance, but like you get flung off it somewhere.
I mean, I did have an idea similar to that, in which
Okay.
they are, at first they were just tugging on it, like, let's, oh no, that's perfect. God, that's a good idea. Okay. They, so they're, at first they were just kind of tugging on it to see, can we pull this? I don't know. And then they start tugging at it harder and trying to pull it every which way. And
Oh
they were
no.
just, they were pulling down as, and trying, they're pulling out and down, but it doesn't seem to be working. And then
Oh.
just the force of it flings them into the air and they get stuck in the tree.
Fina's like, what? And it's like, do you need any help getting down?
And you just see this wrestling for a bit. But what and something falls out of the tree. Um,
uh,
it's not Koga, but
oh,
you
okay.
recognize it immediately. It's the fan that they usually wear
Oh.
on their face. Um, they, but then you hear another rustle, a sharp crack, and then oof as they they fall face first onto the ground next to their next to their fan.
Oh no! And Afina's like she's not sure she's gonna pick up the fan and hand it to them because like she's not sure if that's like but you know like it depends on how soon Koga grabs the fan, but she's gonna make a motion as if to help, and depending on what happens, she's just gonna be like, oh, okay.
Uh, the the Koga kind of scrambles to sit up a bit, but the impact from the fall, it didn't hurt them really, but they haven't noticed yet that their fan has fallen off. It's a little next to but slightly behind them, so they're kind of just quietly dusting themselves off, and they have a little frustrated frown, like, I can't believe that happened.
uh, well, in that case, Amphina's gonna quickly pluck the fan off the ground and kind of uh, offer it to them while kind of looking off to the side
And uh,
politely.
they they notice the fan, and then they very frantically touch their face, like, oh no, not again. And they but they notice you looking off to the side, and they very swiftly but gingerly take it out of your hand and try to readjust it to put it on their face. Um, they do that, and but then they stop. They they actually take it back off, and they kind of just stare at it for a moment. Um, and kind of take a breath in, and they actually directly look at you, Amphina.
Oh, Amphina's pretty surprised, and she says, "Oh, hi. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Let me just say, I this might be untoward, but I certainly don't mind your appearance, but I have no right to judge anyone on what they choose to. I'm not sure hide is the right word.
but they give a slight nod. Um, they it, you almost feel as if it's another instinctive motion of theirs. They actually use the fan to hide a portion of their face before they set it back down. Like, oh, whoops, wait, no, I don't need to do that. um, and they kind of brush just a tiny bit of hair away from their face, um, a little self consciously. They're just not sure if this is okay. Um, but they turn to look back at Amphina a little, and they say, well, thank you.
And Fina smiles. It like I almost want to roll persuasion to see how comforting she can make her, because noticing all this, she really does want Kouga to feel comfortable. So
I mean, if you want, it's up to you.
I mean, with rolling that is the chance to like fuck it up. So we'll see what happens. Maybe to another shenanigan. Really sincerely Kouga to feel okay. Let's see what happens. This might be a mistake. It's the best fucking smile ever. You feel so goddamn safe.
I might mess this up. Rolls a 20, mate.
But yeah, no, you just see her smile warmly and sincerely at you, Kouga. Like in a way as if she's trying to say, it's okay. I'm here as well.
And go ahead.
I almost want. Well, actually, you go first.
And Kouga looks from Amphina down to the fan, back up at her, and then very slowly, like starts like since it's a folding fan, folds it shut. And very carefully kind of sticks it in their hair next to their little hairpin stick thing, whatever you call it.
Fashion.
And they had been sitting the whole time. They finally get up, brush themselves off a little, and you still notice though that even though they nod politely, that they're still looking a little off to the side, like, oh boy, this is rather embarrassing.
Oh. You want to see if you can roll another insight check?
Yes, I live for the insight checks. Let me just.
You don't notice shit.
Yeah,
all you notice. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
And Fina just stands there quietly for a moment. She's like, "Oh, look, the turtles." Let's look at the turtles or some shit. I don't know. She doesn't say that part out loud, but yeah, she's like, "Oh, look over there." Yeah, basically.
I mean, to be fair, they might not notice insight per se, but they do notice you looking back out towards the lake. They walk up to be next to you, and point at the bench, and like, did you want to still sit?
And she do a smile, and she says, certainly. And she sits down, and she notices that someone carved something new into the goddamn wood again. Like, what even is a peepo? What's that doing there?
Oh my gosh.
And she looks at like the sincere atmosphere is just a little bit like she has a sour look on her face, like, ugh. And she's and vandalism.
And I'm thinking though, with this trash insight though, they misinterpret this sour look.
Oh
no. And no, they don't think that they are sour with them, but they do look a little and they ask, is everything okay?
And she's like, oh, yes, I'm fine. It's just been a long day, and I am tired. And then she's kind of quiet.
So they both kind of I can imagine they both awkwardly like stare out at the pond, like I wonder what we do now.
Yeah.
But Koga's gonna try and roll performance. Hopefully this goes okay.
Oh shit! I just got an idea. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I already rolled. I don't know if that messes it up, but go ahead.
Okay. So I imagine. How would you describe this playing?
Um, at first, you know, they they start just playing one or two random notes, kind of plucking at it as before. But then they start playing a bit more. Um, the strumming's rather quiet, but they're trying to be what is it? Rather soothing. I don't know if a shamisen can really be soothing, but
I think it can.
they try to just to mellow the mood out a bit as they strum along with their I forget what it's called. A plectrum, that's what it's called.
Ah.
I
Well,
know words for
Amphena's.
things. Sorry.
Well, Amphina is. She hears this and she's listening, and then she quietly she considers and she I mean, she just sang quite a bit at the Lonely Cricket, but uh she she's not all sung out yet. you know she loves music, and she is going to attempt to join in, and she is just going to sing. She's gonna, after a moment, she decides to modify the song that she heard on the radio to fit the shamisen tune.
Roll again.
And she.
Roll again. We already set it up.
Okay,
Do
all
it.
right.
Unless
okay.
It's me. I'm not gonna ruin this moment. Yeah.
Aw, shit.
Go.
So she has a bit of she has a little bit of phlegm caught in her throat first, which she's embarrassed about. So the first time she tries to sing, her voice cracks, but then she kind of clears her throat a bit, and then slowly and carefully she joins in, and whatever it is, it definitely doesn't sound like the rendition of While My Guitar Gently Weeps by Regina Spektor for the movie Kubo and the Two Strings.
Eyes emoji.
Not at all.
That is most certainly what we weren't going for.
Yeah, nope, not at all. But with the 22, she does pretty good. And
I would say.
Yeah, she just adapts this tune, and they sing, and they sing this nice little song, and I'm gonna link it in the gallery in case anyone wants to do it there. I don't think I should play it in the with DJ moves, just because A, people are using it, and B, it's there's lyrics in it, so it might be distracting, and also we get copyright struck, and that wouldn't be good. But
you can just
please,
imagine it.
Just imagine it. But yeah, no, they're singing in the moon. She's singing in the moonlight, and Koga's playing the instrument, and the moonlight is hitting the water. And there's no guitar involved, but there sure is a shamisen. And I'm not sure if that counts as weeping, but it certainly is making nice sounds. And sometime during the song, the turtle's attention turns from the moon to the people performing. Aww. As they just kind of stare.
Aww.
And I don't think either Amphina or Kouga notices. They're kind of just too busy performing. But then I guess they conclude, and there's like this moment of real quiet, and then Amphina says, "Do you ever want to collaborate like that again?
And and Koga turns to Amphina, and you can kind of just tell by now um, that they look a little surprised. Not surprised in a bad way, but kind of just like, really, you know? And they you they actually have a little, again, a little faint blush on their face, um, and they 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 cautiously, but that they nod.
Amphina smiles, and you were like, "Yeah, you were very good. I'm not used to hearing that sound. It really provides its own unique atmosphere, and I'd love to, try again sometime." And then I think, unless there's something else, I want to say there's like a yell,
Oh,
but it's not like a yell of anger or shock or surprise. It's like, "Hey!" And over there stumbles the drunk woman
oh God!
from
Oh no!
from the lonely cricket, and she's like, "You guys, I was looking for you everywhere. I'm sorry, but I heard the music. It was really good, and I liked it. I'm just so happy to see you guys. I love you. Like, are you angels or something? I love you. I love your music." And she seems to be crying, and Athena's just standing there like, "What the fuck do we do?"
um, oh my gosh. Um,
She tracked us down. Is she a ranger or some shit? Is she some kind of drunken ranger?
a drunk ranger.
A drunk ranger.
Um,
And she's like, "Oh my god, this is the place where I just had my anniversary today."
oh my God. Oh my God. It's Kouga is very caught off guard because the serene nature has been kind of broken by this very loud drunk lady, and they they kind of just they they very um at first they're kind of like, oh, what to do, but then they realize, oh, they don't have their fan on. They quickly grab it back out from their hair and open it. Uh, uh, but before they put it on their face, they cover their mouth and quietly whisper, "Should we leave?"
And Amphina nods fervently. But then I want to say the cops show up.
And then the cops showed up.
Like the park rangers showed up. This is a city park, but the park rangers like, "There you are, get back here. You're under park arrest for putting a saber in a tree." And she's like,
Crimes.
"No, I'm innocent." And then she attempts to run off, and the park ranger chases after them. And the park ranger is, of course, also a ranger. So,
God, two rangers, what crimes will they commit?
well, one is trying to prevent the other from committing any more crimes.
Oh
and, I need to calm down. I need to calm down. And they run off into the night, where like her screams of innocence and like, "You'll never catch me," echoing off into the distance. And with that, I think Amphina's like, "Well, this has been absolutely lovely, but it's been a very long night, and I think I'd best be heading home. Are you all right to go wherever you're staying?"
And so during the commotion, Koga has reaffixed their fan onto their face. They do give a polite nod, but then they ask, "Did you would you like And for now that they're kind of they're kind of stumbling over their words for a moment, but they quickly compose themselves. Did you need anyone to walk you home?
And and Amphina blinks a couple of times and she says, "Oh, I think I'll be all right. I know where to go from here, and I'm certainly good enough at taking care of myself. But this was lovely. Thank you."
Thank, thank you. And they just have this little bashful look, like, maybe I shouldn't have asked that. Why did I phrase it like that? And also, no, this was nice.
and Amphina says, kind of touches the flower in her hair, and she says, "Yes." And then she kind of trails off, and she says, "I'm gonna go, but bye." And then she walks away because she has nothing else fuck to say. Like a real persuasion-y person, just no idea how to continue the conversation. She's just so good at those social skills. It's fine.
Gosh, I feel that. But for now, that they give a. You notice though this time it's less awkward. They give a little wave goodbye as they just decide to sit back down and absent-mindedly pluck at their shamisen once again.
Yay! Do we end it there?
I think that's probably good.
Oh, we did it!
Yeah, we did it.
We did it!
Well, thank you very much, y'all, for listening.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't expect so many shenanigans to happen. That was a lot of fun. Like, improvisation, sometimes it can lead to messes, but other times it can lead to something just beautiful.
Yeah. All right, so I shall end it here. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.